Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I have the honor and the privilege of revealing a brand new card from Altered TCG. I've had a blast playing Altered over the past few weeks, both on Board Game Arena and in person, because I did print out proxies. And I'm super excited to reveal this card to you guys. I know a lot of the community has been eager to see what this card does as well, because it's heavily featured on a lot of the market material and a lot of the art within the game. So here it is. It is KAIBARA Asgarthan Leviathan. This is the common version of the card. It's within Bravos. It's 8 cost from hand, 8 cost from reserve. It has 6 nature, 6 mountain, and 6 island, with the keywords gigantic and tough X. So gigantic is I'm considered present in each of your expeditions. So if this guy were to be in the companion expedition, then it would also affect the hero expedition as well, which is super cool. So tough X is a really cool keyword as well. It basically means depending on how many regions are between your two kind of tokens, your companion token and your hero token, then it would cost that much more for your opponent to actually remove a card. So say there was again, I'm not too familiar with the exact names and stuff of all the cards within Altered, but say there's a 5 cost removal spell that just gets rid of KAIBARA, and there's 2 regions between your tokens, it would actually cost 7 to cast. So it's kind of like a form of protection against a lot of those targeted removal spells within the game. Moving on to the rare version of the card, it is 9 cost from hand, 9 cost from reserve, and the stats have been increased. So now it's 8 nature, 8 mountain, and 8 island. This seems pretty interesting, honestly. I think as the rare version, it does make sense for this card to be boosted, and it's not too bad because the 1 extra cost does get 2 stats overall, and that's not just usually like 2 stats in nature, 2 stats in mountain, 2 stats in island. Like, that's 2 stats across your entire board, both in your hero expedition and your companion expedition. So super powerful card. And then the other rare version of the out of faction version of this card, it is within Lyra, which is the pink color within Altered. And I do think this makes a lot of sense, but I will note that it's basically still the common version of the card and not the rare version, even though this does still have the rare gem. And I think the reason for this is it kind of makes sense, because if you were playing the rare version in Lyra, it's quite expensive to get to, and we haven't seen all the cards yet, but within Bravos, there are 1 or 2 kind of ramp tools, at least 1 for sure that I've seen, that do allow you to try and kind of get KAIBARA out a little bit quicker. So let's talk about synergies really quickly. We're going to mainly be talking about Bravos, obviously, because it is a Bravos card. So if we look at the hero Bazira and Kaizamon, I believe that's how you pronounce it. This hero basically says, when a character you control gains 1 or more boosts, you may exhaust me to have target character gain 1 boost. So I think the whole idea with KAIBARA, once you get it onto the board, is if you have enough mana left over, you really do want to be boosting this, because the more you boost this, you affect both expeditions, which is absolutely huge. So I do like the kind of combo of Bazira and KAIBARA as well. I think that makes a lot of sense. Looking at some other Bravos cards, we have Physical Training. So Physical Training reads, target character gains 3 boosts. If you could somehow pop this on a KAIBARA, it's like super powerful. And of course, you really want to hope that your opponent doesn't have that targeted removal. But again, the tough X does really help against that. Another card we're going to look at within Bravos. This is really funny, actually, because this is another like out of faction card. So you can see where these out of faction cards come in super handy. We're looking at Keylon Cylinder within Bravos. It's 1 cost from hand, 1 cost from reserve. And it has I gain 2 Keylon counters when you tap it. And then when you tap it after that, you can spend a Keylon counter. And the next character you play this turn gains 1 boost. So this might be a better way to go about boosting KAIBARA, mainly because it means you don't have to spend any further mana. You just have to tap that Keylon Cylinder and then tap it again and give this a further boost. And then the final card I want to mention for synergies is actually All In. This is another out of faction card. So this card is usually within Lyra, which is the pink faction. It is also in Bravos, which makes sense because Bravos really does care about boosting a lot of its cards. So this card just says, roll a die, target character gets X boosts, where X is the result. So again, if you can throw this on KAIBARA, this guy's going to be absolutely massive. I think overall, as powerful as this card is, it's going to be interesting to see how often you can get this out. And I think if we see some more ramp tools, like Tiny Jin, for example, which reads, when I leave the expedition zone, if I'm boosted, put me in my owner's mana zone as an exhausted mana orb. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I believe this is the only ramp card within the game at the moment. Of course, I really do hope that they reveal some more, because any type of ramp deck means you can play these like really big, powerful creatures a little bit earlier than you usually would. And I do think Altered is like quite a quick game. Obviously, there's a lot of strategies that you can do, but I really do hope that you can get as far to get KAIBARA out, if that makes sense. The final bit of synergy that I want to touch on again, just it's kind of furthering why I think that they went with putting KAIBARA, the out of faction, in Lyra in pink, is because if you combo KAIBARA with Navenka and Blotch, which is the one of the heroes within Lyra, that's the character that when you exhaust her, depending on what type of dice you roll, if it's between a 2 and a 5, it just gives the card a boost, which is super, super good with this gigantic effect. If you roll a 6, it gives it anchored, which is absolutely insane. Imagine giving KAIBARA anchored, that it sticks around for the next turn. Like, that's the dream, honestly. And of course, if you roll a 1, it gets sent to the reserve, so we never want that to happen. But yeah, like, All In is also in the Lyra faction as well. So overall, super, super excited about this card. I cannot wait to try it out myself. If you guys are interested in checking out Altered, I'm going to leave a link down below in the description to a video that has all of the rules that will help you learn how to play the game. I believe it's by Main Deck. They're very, very good at tutorials over there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the community really enjoyed this reveal, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.